If you haven't had opportunity to watch Captain America: Civil War, stop listening now. Major spoilers. Here we go. We're talking about the next 5 minutes after the first 15 minutes. Okay, and it's a little bit less than 5 minutes, but I had to stop, man, watching this thing, man, and actually just man, it's really hard. As you can hear me, as you can hear my voice, I'm really excited about this, man. Okay, so here's what happened, man. Number one, Disney has magic, man. This is this is some of the best CGI, the best 3D. This is it's crazy. It's fascinating as hell, man, what they're able to do with this, man. Okay, you have a young Robert Downey Jr. and an old Robert Downey Jr. on the screen at the same time, for just a moment, maybe I'd say 3 to 7 seconds, maybe even 5 to 10 seconds, and then after that, it vanishes. Okay, Robert Downey Jr., aka Tony Stark, aka Iron Man, he is on the stage at a university giving a speech about the future and things to come and invention and technology. Okay, and he has this scene where you see a young Robert Downey Jr., a young Iron Man, a young Tony Stark that is with his father and mother, and he's in this scene with them talking. And this is before an incident that would later, take their life and they would die from it. And I guess you can say one of the things that he regrets in his life. And he was able to, use it as a point of inspiration for this speech that he gave. After he's finished with this speech, and he awards the entire audience, which is probably, I'd say, maybe 50 to 150 people, 150 students. He gives all of them, money. He gives all of them grants and scholarships, and he also funds all of their projects. So you're looking at, let's call it $1 billion, $1 million, or whatever. He's giving out. It's a ridiculous amount of money, man. And at that moment, he's at the height, it seems like, of his speech. He looks like Iron Man. He feels like Tony Stark. He's like, he's back to being Tony Stark. And then all of a sudden, the teleprompter says, and now introducing Pepper Potts or whatever. And as soon as he sees the mention of Pepper Potts, he starts to back and retreat into himself, and he doesn't seem like himself anymore, man. He seems like that, almost like I guess you can say, like the Iron Man 3. He's not Tony Stark. He almost seems like a little bit of the Age of Ultron Tony Stark also. But he leaves the stage because Pepper Potts is not there. His aides and stuff like that, apologize for the teleprompter, and he's walking away. And at this moment, I think he feels vulnerable because he walks up to this elevator. There's this lady standing there. She's a black lady. You will recognize her if you watch The Conjuring Part 2. You will recognize her from I believe it was Scandal. She's been on thousands of different shows, man, and movies, man. Just, you'll know her as soon as you see her. Okay, and she's waiting for the elevator. The elevator button is not being pushed. Okay, there's no light indication. She's just waiting in the hall, I guess, to, I don't know, for whatever reason. She has something in her hand. She starts reaching for it, and then Tony Stark grabs her hand, and then she's like, I work for the Secret Service, or, work for the government or whatever. You have no reason to, fear me or threaten me or whatever. And then, he lets go of her hand, and he just kind of listens there. He presses the elevator button to go down or whatever to activate it. And then all of a sudden as he's kind of like not, I guess, anticipating what's going to happen next and just kind of listening to her, she reaches in her purse or whatever, grabs out something and slams it against Stark's chest, man. Just like that. She slams against his chest, and he's kind of taken at a moment. At first I thought, she stabbed him, he's dead, he's gone, but then I paused for a second. I was like, okay, listen, this is Captain America: Civil War. This isn't, nothing's at risk. There's nothing at risk at this moment, okay? Because we know we have to see Captain America, and we have to see, Iron Man fight, okay? So nothing's at risk, all right? So anyway, this is what she says. She says, with her hand on Tony Stark's chest, she's like, his name was Charlie Spencer, and you killed him in Sokovia. Okay, so now we have a tie-in between Captain America: Civil War and Captain America and Avengers: Age of Ultron. Okay, the events that happened in Sokovia, a lot of people died, and those answers. People, we still need answers for that, because of all that stuff that happened. All right, and she says, "You think you fight for us? You fight for yourself. Who's going to avenge my son, Stark? He's dead, and I blame you." And then she gets in the elevator and she walks off, and goes off into the distance. And Tony Stark is just left there like, fuck. His facial expression in that moment was like the lowest point in his life, because he knows that she's telling the truth. They're the collateral damage in the Avengers, the collateral damage inside of Age of Ultron, the collateral damage in the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe has grown tremendously, and every single movie has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger, more death, more destruction. Okay, and that's part of this universe, and I guess you could say the reality that there are more threats out there. There are more superheroes, metahumans, whatever you want to call them. It's real, and that's just part of it, man. So now we understand, this is what affects Tony Stark, and this is what gets him thinking about building all this stuff that we've seen in the trailers. Okay, that something to hold and house, these Avengers, something to hold them accountable to, and if things get out of control, we can stop them if need be. All right, so yeah, that's it, guys. We're out of here. The next scene that happens, and that starts around the 18-minute mark, we get the first mention of how Black Panther comes into the Avengers universe, man, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely 100%. I was in tears, man, when I first heard it. Okay, so that's all I got to say, man. But we'll come back and we'll talk about that too, man. We're out here, guys. Comment and let me know what you thought about Captain America: Civil War, man. You can post whatever you want, guys. I really don't care about the MCU. Not like that. Don't take offense to it, but that's just Marvel Cinematic Universe is not mine. I don't really have any feelings for it. Hopefully, after I watch this movie, I will be feeling a little bit differently about Captain America: Civil War. We'll see what happens, man. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments, man. And that's it.